Oxygen, the vital gas that sustains life on Earth. Today's diverse world without oxygen is almost impossible to imagine. Most organisms that we see around us breathe in oxygen and cannot survive without it. Plants, on the other hand, replenish oxygen in the atmosphere through the process of photosynthesis, where they use sunlight as a source of energy to break down a water molecule into oxygen. However, is life possible without oxygen? Surprising as it may be, the answer is yes. There are organisms that can survive without oxygen. The smallest organism on Earth, Mycoplasma, to millions of types of bacteria, to even some cells in the human body. Yes, you heard that right. Even some cells in the human body can survive without oxygen, especially when subjected to some adverse conditions. How? To understand that, first of all, why do we need oxygen? What do we actually use it for? Well, the oxygen that we breathe is used for the intricate process of respiration. The molecules of oxygen that we breathe in are transported by our blood to various cells in our body, where it is used to break down glucose and release energy. This energy is what we use to perform day-to-day activities. Those organisms that can break down glucose without oxygen are called anaerobes. Glucose that is produced in our body by digestion of food is always converted into pyruvic acid. This step doesn't require oxygen and hence is the same in all organisms in the presence or absence of oxygen. However, the further breakdown of pyruvic acid into carbon dioxide and water, and of course energy, is what that requires oxygen. In anaerobic organisms, this takes a different path, where pyruvic acid in the absence of oxygen is broken down into an alcohol and carbon dioxide and energy. But if this is the case, then why can't we use the same process? Well, because the amount of energy released by this is really tiny, especially when compared to aerobic respiration. Larger organisms like humans require much more energy to survive, and hence aerobic respiration is the way to go. However, as said before, anaerobic respiration does occur in humans, and most of us have felt it unknowingly sometime in our lives. It occurs in the human muscle cells. Have you ever had to run really fast and then experience those severe muscle cramps after that? Well, that's your muscles respiring without oxygen. When you run really fast or perform heavy workouts, not enough oxygen reaches your muscles. So your muscles break down pyruvate into a different compound called lactic acid in the absence of oxygen. Yes, it's not alcohol here, and in this process also releases some energy which may be used to do the corresponding tasks. However, this lactic acid slowly accumulates in your muscles, and it is this accumulation that leads to those unpleasant muscle cramps that you feel every time after a heavy workout. We know that plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen during photosynthesis. So if they do not take in oxygen, can they be called anaerobes? To know more about it, watch this video.